anyone what the big question of our time is today, I bet the answer might be, will we ever find peace on earth? This circle on the blackboard represents that symbol of the earth. But peace, that's the question. Peace on earth. We have so much devastation. Could it really be possible and true that this could happen? I believe we should never stop finding a way, a better way, to accomplish this goal. Now here's another question. Could it be true that what you see is what you get? What you see is what you get. If it is true, then we may have the answer to finding peace on earth. Now, when I was a little girl, my favorite movie was Pollyanna with Haley Mills. And Pollyanna was an orphan, and she was taken to live with her aunt. And she came up with a thinking strategy called the glad game. So whenever something went wrong with Pollyanna or any of her friends or family, she would use this glad game strategy, and she would find the bright side in any situation. For example, she would go over to the neighbor's house, and there was this old cranky woman, Agnes Moorehead, and she wasn't happy about one thing in her life. Well, Pollyanna took the crystal prisms off of the antique lamps, and she hung them across the window. And as the sun came in, she created this sea of rainbow colors. And sure enough, Agnes Moorehead was happy and changed her attitude by playing the glad game. So if this is true, what you see is what you get. Perhaps Pollyanna was one of the teachers of that philosophy. Back in 2003, 2 years after 9/11, I was doing some soul searching myself. And I remember feeling like, there must be a better way. I mean, how can all this really be happening? The world was changing and people were having a difficult time of it. And I went to church one Sunday and I was looking for a book. And I found this book on the bookcase after church, and the title of the book was Everyday Grace by Marianne Williamson. Well, that book has actually changed my life considerably because it introduced to me a strategy for changing our thoughts. She made me aware that I can actually choose, or that I have choice of my thought. We all go about life just sort of on autopilot, and we react. And very rarely do we actually pause to think about how we're going to react. So that's what this philosophy is about. Now, Marianne Williamson, she's a spiritual teacher and writer of our time. She actually teaches the principles of another book called A Course in Miracles. Now, A Course in Miracles is not about walking on water kind of miracles. It is about applying this principle of what you see is what you get. So it says in any given moment we can choose to have a thought of anger or fear or lack, or we can fill our thoughts with love. So a miracle is a shift in perception from a thought of fear to a thought of love. So could this also be the glad game? I remember when I was devastated the first time somebody made fun of Pollyanna. I was like, oh my gosh, you know, I love Pollyanna. So why would you say, oh, you're just being a Pollyanna? So again, this Course in Miracles philosophy is something that it made sense to me. Now, it's radical teaching, but it's a teaching of universal truth that shows up in many religions, many philosophies. It actually says that for the billions of years as we know it, that our thought system has been passed down from generation to generation. And the fear thoughts, the ego thoughts, come with that. And it goes on to say that we're actually living in a dream state because nothing real can be threatened, nothing unreal exists. Herein lies the peace of God. So it actually teaches us to find the center of ourselves by aligning with the peace of our original source. So we've got man-made thoughts, and then we've got the thoughts of peace. The good news is that we have that choice, that what we see is what we get. We can actually choose how we want to see it, and then we project the results out in front of us. This same philosophy comes up in teachings of great philosophers of our modern time. Descartes was one who was very much questioning, you know, what's the difference or the fine line between a dream at night and the daytime? He went on to say, for all I know, I may now be dreaming. Very interesting. So I choose to align myself with this philosophy. Is it easy? No, because we get so caught up in all the things that are bothering us or the circumstances that prevent us from our car from working. I mean, we just we have a difficult time getting out of the soup of daily life. So I will say that I'm going to play the glad game, and I hope you will consider it as well, because what you see is what you get. Thank you.